Hey, my name is Brent here on Cloudy with the Chance of Meeples. Time for another review of an Exit the Game. Something I do a lot here on the channel. I don't know why I say we. My wife and we do a lot of these, but I don't know if she's ever been on any of the videos of these. But this is, I think, my 25th Exit the Game, the Venice Conspiracy. At the time of recording, this is the latest one in this giant catalog of escape room type games in a box. This is a one-time play that you'll be, cutting things up and doing different things with the game components. That it's a one-time play. So, are they running out of ideas after almost 30 of these? Let me show you what you get in this box of this one. Then I'll share my final forecast on if this one is one for you to check out. First, cue the thunder. So the radar overview for Exit the Game, the Venice Conspiracy. Can you uncover the mysterious activities and save Venice? This is going to be an unboxing / showing you what's in this little radar overview. I'm not going to open up any of the cards or anything like that, but we're going to just find out what's in this one. So what's the game about? Course of play. Need help? Certificate. So, I'm not even going to open it. That's all. You have a decoder wheel. Some stuff from the back. Some punch outs here. And some cards in paper. And again, I'm not going to show anything else. This is a very, very short unboxing and overview of what you get in Exit the Game, the Venice Conspiracy. We will see how this one is. Well, we're going to move on over now and take a look at the final forecast. So the final forecast for Exit the Game, the Venice Conspiracy. Let's dive in. I'm not going to tell you the answers to the riddles, but I'm going to tell you kind of what to expect in this one. In this one, it kind of brings real life. It's kind of like current times, because it adds this little new mechanic per se, the little cell phone cards that you will be able to collect through the game. If you see, certain times and different things, then you get the matching card of that time. So if it's like, 4 in the afternoon, you pick up that 4 in the afternoon, or that clock that says 4 o'clock, which none of these do. I'm just taking a time for example. And then you look at it, and then it'll give you some information. And so I like that aspect of, you kind of feel like a detective. This whole thing, you are trying to figure out what's going on. As you see on the front of the box, this masked person has a canister with chemical in their little gondola. And so they're doing something nefarious, and you got to figure out what they are doing. This one, all of them kind of have 10 puzzles. I feel it's a good one. I'll say that one. It's a good one. There were 2 puzzles that drove Nicole and I up the wall, and I thought they were somewhat a little far-fetched. This one isn't as linear as others. You get this little book right from the beginning, and you're going through the book. Nothing's specifically in order. 2 of the puzzles confused us. They are over multiple pages, so that was a little bit of a challenge. So you got to stay organized in that. I will say this would have been a 9.5 out of 10 if we would have been able to figure out two puzzles. And I don't want to give anything away, and I don't want to say the reason as to why we didn't figure them out. Sometimes you just naturally, genuinely get stumped, and we did. But then after reading the solution, I was like, I don't know if I would have found this thing for the one puzzle. And I wouldn't have figured out this thing for the other puzzle. It was a little fiddly. And so that drops it down a little bit. This would have been unbelievably the best exit game I've ever done because of the final two puzzles. If it weren't for those two puzzles that kind of stumped us, there were 6 solid ones. I'm looking at the answers here. They do things that you can expect in exit games in clever ways. But the final 2 puzzles, after doing 25 of these, this box has 2 of the best mind-blowing puzzles of any exit the game. And like I said, I've done a ton of them. Prior to this one, my favorite, no way moment was in the Gate Between Worlds. This one, blows that one out of the water. Legitimately, the final 2 puzzles, you're going to be like, we're supposed to do that? And then you do it and you're like, that's really cool. And then they're like, okay, do this. And you're like, there's no way. And it works. It's crazy. It works. Nicole and I were dumbfounded. We're like, that's insane. It's awesome. And so if you have done some X of the games and you want a challenge, I think this one has a pretty decent challenge. It's got some puzzles that are pretty simple of just straight up logic, but then there's some things that you have to cut up and see things in different ways. And like I said, there were 2 puzzles. We got some of them. Some of it, one of them kind of needs 3 different things spread out between 3 different areas. Some of that was clever. Some of it was okay, I would have never got that. Even, I think we actually solved it by accident. And then the other one, the diamond one, the clothesline, that's all I'm going to say. That one, I don't know, wasn't a fan of that one. But this would have been probably one of my favorite ones without those 2 ones that stumped us. Because, to be honest, it took us 45 minutes for those 2 puzzles. And you're probably thinking, Brent, you're an idiot. Why didn't you just look at the help cards? And that's the balance in this of when do I want to look at the help cards and when do I not want to, and when do I want to actually figure things out. So yeah, those 2 puzzles took up a long, long time, which, as it comes to be so often, we got 5 out of 10 stars because that's just what we get in these. But the last 2 puzzles in this were absolutely amazing. So cool. I wish I could tell you everything, but I cannot because I don't want to spoil the last 2. So this is a solid entry in the X of the Game line. Inca Marcus brand, they still have amazingly creative ideas. I'm giving it an 80% chance of Meeples, 8 out of 10, 80% chance of Meeples. Like I said, if it wouldn't have been for those 2 kind of far-fetched or just meh ones, it would have been higher. But 80% chance of Meeples for X of the Game, the Venice Conspiracy. Highly recommend checking it out if you're a fan of the X of the Game series. My name is Brent. Till next time, grab your umbrella. The forecast is cloudy with a chance of Meeples.